Hi there, Chris here with the final installment in my in-depth look at the Codex Eldar. Like that? Special effects, right? Just. And so in this video, we're going to look at the heavy support choices for the Eldar. We got some nice upgrades here. One really big upgrade. But some nice additions, really, to a few of the choices. And they were necessary, I think. They make one unit really good and more versatile in their inclusion in the army now. Because I never bothered with this one unit. And the unit I'm talking about here is Dark Reapers. And so let's begin right now. Let's just dive right into this here. Heavy support, right? The first choice right out of the book here. Dark Reapers. One of my favorite units as far as the look and feel within the Eldar army. Just because, you know, these guys are just, they walk around with heavy armor and they got the big missile launchers and they have those big weather vane things coming off, but like it's like, you know, the whole motion tracking thing and, you know, they're targeting stuff. And so they're kind of going back to that feeling with the whole, you know, these guys are just kind of like watching the battlefield and picking off targets kind of thing, right? And so their profile is the same as Aspect Warriors, as you'd expect. The Exarch. Infantry. Exarch is a character. 3 guys, but you can include up to 7 more, so you can take them up to 10 men. The points cost is, I do believe, a little less than the previous Codex. Not much, but a little, which is fine. War gear. Heavy aspect armor. Shocking. Reaper launcher with Star Swarm missiles. Now these are nice. Now these weapons are pretty much the same as what they were before. And then they have the Reaper rangefinder. That's lots of fun. And we'll talk about the Reaper rangefinder right now, because this is huge, this upgrade to this unit. And because their cost really doesn't change, like it goes down, I believe, this is huge. These guys can negate a jinx save. I'll say it again, they get to negate the jinx save. That's huge. That's planes, that's bikes. Anybody who relies on that jinx save, not with these guys around. And so, special rules. Ancient Doom. I'm shocked. An Eldar unit with Ancient Doom, really. They should have just said that in the beginning of the book. Everybody's got Ancient Doom. Everybody. Everybody's got it. Who's got it? He's got it. They all have it. But now, Dark Reapers get slow and purposeful. That's huge. That means that these guys aren't just, they don't root themselves somewhere and just try and watch the battlefield. No, these guys can now respond and move with the rest of the force. Big upgrade. And so, you can have them up to 10. All the Dark Reapers can take Starshot missiles, which is a nice upgrade. So basically, it gives them the ability to shoot at infantry kind of stuff, like they used to do, or what they're designed to do. But now they get to shoot essentially crack missiles now. One guy can be upgraded to the Exarch. I'd like to see a unit where everybody can be an Exarch. Right? Why not, right? Like it's always one guy is an Exarch. Really? One guy? Why wouldn't there be 2? So anyway. I don't know why. Where am I? Oh yeah, okay. The Exarch can exchange his Reaper launcher for either a Shuriken cannon. Why not, right? He'll be like Mugen Ra, really. Or he can take an Eldar missile launcher with plasma and Starshot missiles, and he can also upgrade that with flak missiles. This guy can now shoot down planes at a ballistic skill of his caliber. This guy is going to be blowing stuff out of the skies. Awesome. Just awesome. That's it's kind of pricey option though, but why not? Or you can also have his trusty rusty Tempest launcher. Tempest launcher is lots of fun too. If the Dark Reaper Exarch has a Reaper launcher, he may take Starshot missiles. Allows him just to shoot the same strength. You know, if everybody's firing crack missiles, he gets to fire crack missiles, right? He can have 2 of 3 choices of Exarch powers. Night vision, fast shot. Fast shot? He can have fast shot and marksman eye. But let's go back up here a sec. Fast shot. This guy can shoot down planes, not once, but twice. Oh yes, please, I'll have some of that. And then these guys can also ride around in a wave serpent. Why would you? The Exarch, Dark Reapers. The ability for them to be slow and purposeful. The Exarch having the capacity to shoot down airplanes. Why not? Why not have Dark Reapers in your army? You know, and there are 8 choices of heavy support for Eldar. Dark Eldar. There are 8 choices, and you can only ever have 3 in a regular detachment. And so it's like, what do I do? What do I do? There's just too many choices. Like this, you know, you only have 4 choices for troops, but I've got 8 for heavy support. Like, so, yeah, that's pretty crazy, right? And so, the next choice is Vol's Wrath Support Battery. And so basically these guys are just guardians who sit on, you know, the support platforms. They're artillery. There are 2 dudes per gun. The points cost for these guys, and I do believe that, yes, these are a little bit cheaper. Okay, they're significantly cheaper than what they used to be, and that's really awesome. They automatically by default come with Shadow Reavers. The Guardians have mesh armor, catapults, and plasmas. The special rules for the Guardians themselves only have Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, and Fleet. You can include up to 2 more cannons, so you can have a total of 3 in this unit. And you can upgrade, you have to replace all weapons in the unit with the same choice, so that you either have all Shadow Reavers, or Vibro Cannons, or D-Cannons. I mean, even with the D-Cannon option, these guys are, well, with the D-Cannon option, I think they go a little bit more than what they used to be. I do believe. But either way, I like the D-Cannon options for these things. I know there's people out there who swear by the Vibro Cannons. And the Shadow Reavers, well, that's just fun for, you know, messing with people, right? But Shadow Reavers, because it's a monofilament, it falls within that monofilament. But the D-Cannon is also D-Cannon, so it falls within that distort. And the Vibro Cannon, well, he's got his own rules. But it's pretty much the same, and so, yeah. It's a nice addition there. And of course, you can throw a Warlock on this unit, you know, but depending on what you roll, right? So you can't always, like, before, whenever I took my support battery, I always threw a Warlock on it with Conceal. Well, I guess you always get Conceal now too, because it's a Primaris power, but I guess, yeah, I guess it's still about the same, because yeah, I always took Conceal and slapped it on them, and just for that extra protection, because these guys' armor completely rots. But because these are artillery now, they got the toughness value and a save, so there is that. And so these units, I'm sure you're going to see more. They also came out with a plastic upgrade for these guys like a year and a half ago. Never picked any out. I still have my old pewter ones, but anyway, I like support batteries if you're going to play that kind of static kind of Eldar. And so next is the classic Fire Prism. His stats pretty much stay the same. He is still a tank and a fast skimmer. His base cost went up, and I really don't see why his base cost went up. Now it's not much, but the cannon itself did change. There are now 3 modes to fire it now. That's why. And he can also exchange his cannon or his catapults for a cannon, and he can take vehicle upgrades. Makes them pretty pricey. But you throw that hollow field on there, you throw that crystal targeting matrix on there, and you know, it's a pretty deadly tank. And he's got 3 modes of firing now. You know, he's got a big blast, he's got the little blast, and he's got no blast, but it's like a pinpoint precision shot. And so, yeah, he's pretty good. Like right off the hop for his points cost. He's pretty darn good. I still have them. I have 6 of them because I run a Sunstorm Squadron, but anyway. The Night Spinner is our next choice. The Night Spinner is now in our Codex, so nobody can complain now that it's in a white dwarf and blah blah blah, you can't take it. It's in our Codex. It's here to stay now. It's the same profile as a Fire Prism. It's pretty much the exact same, other than being a little bit cheaper. But it's got the Doom Weaver, which is really good. It's good for dealing with infantry and stuff, like Horde infantry and stuff. It's got the Twin Link String Catapults. It too can upgrade its catapults to a cannon, and it can also take the vehicle upgrades. I don't have a Night Spinner in my army. I should get them. I should probably get 3. I know a lot of people like them. I like it. In principle, I like it. I just haven't gotten around to picking one up. And so, yeah. But let me know what you guys think of Night Spinners. I know, like, on paper, they're great at dealing with the hordes, right? Because they can force that dangerous terrain check. And so, yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Next is the Falcon, the trusty rusty Falcon. His points cost is the same as a Fire Prism. He's got the same stats as a Fire Prism, other than the addition of having a transporter capacity. But I do believe he can still only transport 6 models. He's got the Pulse Laser, Shuriken Cannon, and Twin Link Shuriken Catapults. He can exchange his Shuriken Cannon for a Star Cannon, Bright Lance, Scatter Laser, or Missile Launcher. He can also upgrade his Twin Link Shuriken Catapults to a Shuriken Cannon, and he can also have the other vehicle upgrade options. The Pulse Laser. I wish you could swap that weapon out, or take an additional Pulse Laser. The Falcon, in my mind, would become so awesome at that point. Now, it can only transport 6 models, but sometimes you're only taking a few models, right? This tank is pretty much the Razorback of the Eldar army, right? It's the Razorback transport, and so it's versatile. It can fill in whatever gap needs be. It's got a decent armor, depending what vehicle upgrades you put on it, if any. You know, it serves its role. It's got shuriken weapons, so at least it's got some additional capacity against heavy armored infantry. But the Pulse Laser still bugs me, that the fact that one weapon is always the Pulse Laser, and then it takes another heavy weapon. That's always kind of bugged me. I wish it could swap out that Pulse Laser for another heavy weapon, and then, you know what I mean? Like, it could mix and match heavy weapons, or take dual heavy weapons, or take 2 Pulse Lasers. I really wish they would have done that. To me, that felt like the logical course to go with the Falcon, but what do I know? And for its points cost, it's not bad. Like, he's not like, or it should have became a dedicated transport. That would have made it a lot more fun. You'd probably see a lot more Falcons then. Maybe not, because the wave storm, it got so good too, right? So, yeah. The Falcon, though, I have a few. And back in the day, I used to use them all the time, right? Because it was the only tank we had. But now it's like, I got Fire Prisms. I could take, Fire Prisms. I only take Fire Prisms. But now, yeah. So a Falcon, I don't know. He's one of those guys that's like, he's awesome. He could, if he had a little bit more options or a little bit more flexibility, he'd be super awesome. And so, yeah, it's just, they're still going to sit on my shelf. I'll eventually get them painted, but yeah. And so next, let's go to the next choice. Now here, this is another one of those units that I think everybody's going to have in their army, and that is the War Walkers. Now, War Walkers were already really good before. Very versatile, do whatever you need them to do. Now these guys went up in points, just a bit. But they got the bonus to their weapon skill, ballistic skill. Still the same crap armor. Initiative is good. And the hull points is kind of eh. But they became open top now. That's a change. They became open top. So there is that bit of a loss there. Because before, with the fluff was that the rider has like a shield over him. And so that was what negated the open topped. But now the open topped is there because it's an open top vehicle, right? The guy's exposed, of course. It's obvious he's exposed, right? And so for war gear, this guy automatically comes with 2 shuriken cannons. Pretty darn good, considering its point cost and what shuriken weapons do, because shuriken weapons have blade storms. So they're pretty darn good just with that at the base level. And it also has a power field. That's a invulnerable save. And so, yeah, they just became really good. Better ballistic skill. And having an invulnerable. That's just awesome. So, next we get to, they also have the Ancient Doom. Okay, so they're infected by that. They have, get ready for this, they have battle focus. They have fleet and they have scouts. These guys have battle focus. This is huge for a unit that can spit out this many shots. Anybody who's familiar with Warwalkers know how much shots these guys can spit out. Now they have battle focus. This is huge. These guys can hide, move out, shoot you at God knows what range, and then come back and hide again. That's a huge upgrade. That's huge. And so you can have this unit up to 3 guys, so you can pay for more. You can exchange any of the weapons. Any weapon can be exchanged for a Bright Lance, Scatter Laser, Star Cannon, or Eldar Missile Launcher with Plasma and Starshot missiles. Here's the next fun part. That missile launcher can also have flak missiles. These guys now can become little mobile anti-air units. Now, you're talking about a huge points increase in each one of these guys. Or take one on their own and have, 3 of them walking around being little anti-air units. Or have 9, I don't know, whatever way you want to play it. But then again, with Eldar Missile Launcher, Eldar Missile Launcher was such a versatile weapon because it's better than a regular human, like the Imperium's Missile Launcher, because the AP change is in the flak missile, but the crack missile is still the same. But now that these Warwalkers get options for flak, that's just too good to pass up. Like, these guys, your Air Force is just gonna die. Now, having all 3 with missile launchers, with flak missiles, it seems a bit overkill because the whole unit has to shoot at the same thing, right? And so it seems a bit overkill now. And so you might have to consider carefully like where you're gonna spend your points on these Warwalkers if you want them to be dedicated anti-air. Well, they don't have to be dedicated because the missile launcher is a versatile weapon, kind of like the Fire Prism. They can handle whatever target priority you set for them. And then they also get the vehicle upgrades, increasing their cost, of course, but they can get the plus to their saves, they can get, the extra movement, they can, star engines on these guys. Why not? Warwalkers. Everybody's going to be taking Warwalkers. You're going to see more Warwalkers out there. I think you're going to see more Dark Reapers out there. So, with that, let's move on to the trusty, rusty Wraithlord. This guy's stat profile didn't change, although I think the strength went down. He's a monstrous creature slash in brackets character. Interesting. His base point cost does go up for what he is now. He does go up in cost. He's got 2 shuriken catapults. His special rules are the Ancient Doom and he's fearless. Expected. He can exchange any one of his catapults for a flamer. He can take the Ghost Glaive, which is the sword, and he can take up 2 of the following weapons: a Shuriken Cannon, Bright Lance, Scatter Laser, Star Cannon, and Eldar Missile Launcher for varying points costs. And so the Wraithlord goes up in costs. Now he gets the character in brackets. So I guess that means he can accept challenges in things, right? He can be singled out. His stats stay the same, although he suffers from Ancient Doom. Now Ancient Doom, I think it's a bit of a bonus, but more of a curse, right? But it's only situational, right? Because it's only against Slanish units, so it's not that big a deal. What I'm not crazy about though is the increase in his cost, because before in the previous codex I could get it to his lowest points cost was just his 2 basic weapons on his arms and give him the sword, and that was it. And that's a fairly decent close combat guy to tie up stuff and be a general nuisance and hold the line kind of thing, right? And so now he costs me a little bit more, and to give him that sword it costs me a little bit more, and so I'm not crazy about that, but he doesn't suffer from the race sight anymore. He doesn't have that chance to go inert. I guess that's a plus. I don't know, what are your thoughts on Wraithlords? For the increase in cost, do you think it's justified within the army? I don't know. I mean, it's not a huge issue, but it kind of is. I mean, that's a fairly large increase in points. And then add on top of his weapons. And, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think of the Wraithlords? And so finally, let's look at this brand new unit, the Wraithknight. Now, if you don't know what a Wraithknight is, then you've probably had your head in the sand, because the Wraithknight is this gigantic robot. It's a Titan. It's effectively a Titan walking around. in the regular boards. But now we have flyers in regular games, so why not have Titans walking around? Might as well have Stompas in regular 40k now. So the Wraithknight, his profile is a little bit like the Wraithlord's, but he's got more wounds, he's got a better initiative, a little more attacks, higher strength, but he is a jump monstrous creature. He costs double a Wraithlord, and by default he comes with 2 Wraith Cannons. The Wraith Cannons are just awesome. He's got the same special rules as the Wraithlord. He can exchange his Wraith Cannons for a Ghost Glaive and Scatter Shield, or Sun Cannon and Scatter Shield. Sun Cannon is really good. It's like a super star cannon, really. And the Ghost Glaive is just basically a sword and a shield, and you're gonna run this guy up and charge a bit, and beat stuff up, right? He can also take 2 of the following in any combination. He can have Shuriken Cannons, Scatter Lasers, Star Cannons. I really, because he's a monster creature, he can only fire 2 weapons. So I really don't see, having the Wraith Cannons or even the Sun Cannon and having these heavy weapon options. Now, if I had them for close combat, then I probably would take these like Star Cannons or the Shuriken Cannons, because Shuriken Cannons are good now. And so I don't know if I'll get a Wraithknight. I know a lot of people bought these guys up as soon as they came out. I'm not 100% sold on it. I mean, it's a wonderful looking model, don't get me wrong, and I'll definitely be picking one up, but it's not a priority on my list, and it's not even a priority in my army. I'll play with it once or twice, but I'm more jazzed about that Hemlock fighter. That's the one I'm super excited for out of this book. And so yeah, the Wraithknight. He's a jump monstrous creature. That's huge, especially for a guy who's this tough. He's a beast. Runs around, but you pay the points for him though. And I mean, somebody with a force weapon can easily do this guy in. His armor save is is decent. If you give him that scatter shield, like by default, he's only got his regular armor save. He doesn't have an invulnerable save. If you give him the scatter shield, then he gets an invulnerable save. I mean, I guess, when you throw in psychic powers as well, augmenting them and, whatever, or, debuffing the enemy units, then yeah, he becomes really powerful. And so, yeah, the Wraithknight, I'll get one, I guess. I suppose I have to, right? And so that concludes my in-depth look into the new Eldar Codex. Now, I didn't really go over weapons and such because, well, it gets kind of sticky when we start talking about, weapon profiles and such, and so that's why I kind of avoided that section. But let me know what you think about the Wraithknight. Dark Reapers. Are you gonna include your Dark Reapers more? For anybody out there who wasn't using them before, because it's kind of tricky to always position them, right? You only ever got maybe a turn or 2 use out of them before the enemy decided to dedicate something to kill it. And so yeah, let me know what you think, because I like hearing people's input, and this codex has changed the way the Eldar operate, mainly because of that battle focus. And so leave a comment below. What are your favorite choices out of the heavy support? Let me know what you think. Do you think Chris really needs a Wraithknight? Leave a thumbs up if you felt that this was useful, helpful, or at the very least entertaining. And I'll see you in the next video series. I don't know, do you really want me to do an in-depth look into the weapon systems? I don't feel it's completely necessary, but maybe you guys really want that. And hey, I always try to aim to please. Chris always aims to please. And so I hope you've enjoyed this series. Again, feel free to leave comments on the videos, questions, rants, video responses. Feel free to leave me video responses. I always did get a kick out of those too as well. And so, yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next series and whatever it is. I still got to get the rest of my Eldar painted up, so expect more of those. I got to get battle reports done. I know. So, see you in the next series.